I have one. So, being married, they say it's been 18 years from the time Yatrell Jackson was born, August 31st, 2004. I have a marriage license with the date of April 30th, 2004. I felt real bad, the whole time, you know, ever since I was a child, being in the projects, in Gate City, Alabama, in the city of Birmingham, being in the projects at 2703 Dartmouth Avenue, you know, I was molested and sexually abused. And, they took naked pictures of us, and they gave us alcohol, like beer and drugs and stuff like that. And it was at 2703 Dartmouth Avenue in the city of Bessemer, Alabama, in the projects. I heard it's a police station or something now. Investigation or something. I don't know. I didn't really want to go back to those places because post-traumatic stress disorder. It's just bad memories. I sent some money to a guy, at the Brickyard Hill Church of God in Christ. Superintendent Paul L. Bill at the Brickyard Hill Church of God in Christ, it's the name of the church, and it was the money that I had paid him for a loan when I had a car. It was a money car loan. And I was at the Social Security office. That's when they had told me that, I was supposed to get my own money because they said it was a lady using the name Yolanda Jackson, and she, was stealing my money basically. And they said that I was, getting money ever since I was like 12 years old, sometime in the 90s, and I never knowed about it, She never gave me any other money, She was always, too busy during the 90s filing petitions on me as a teenager in the family court of Jefferson County, I don't know why, because I didn't have any victims. I still don't have any victims, of any violent abuse, sexual abuse, any of that. So, I always feel bad the whole time, but I'm not suicidal. I'm not a threat to myself or others, of course. I would always pray, think about God a lot, I didn't really have a lot of friends and stuff like that because, when people would say that it was your family and friends and family, when I would look at the birth certificates, I'd be like, wait a minute. So you guys had 6 and children, 6 and children, kids without a marriage license. You were not married. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, it's against my religion, So, I didn't make any victims out of those people. When it was men, doing sex stuff with other men, I didn't make any victims out of those people. I never killed any of them. When it was girls doing sex stuff with other girls, I never made any victims out of those people. I never killed any of those people. I just did not participate in the activities they participated in, And I was told I didn't do anything wrong, that I didn't do wrong, I was never a judge in the courtroom or attorney or any of that type of stuff like that. So it's, I was never a police officer. So it's not, I never arrested them or locked them up or, did stuff to them for being whatever way they were or that they are, I feel like I was molested and abused, before and after April 30th, 2004, because it seemed like there's some kind of form of mental and emotional and spiritual molestation when, a person says they only wanted, to be the dad of a child, one child, And when on August 31st, 2004, a child was born, And I said I didn't want to have any more children because I wouldn't want to look like a deadbeat dad. And someone else would have to explain, why the other children, they said they wanted Yatrell to have a brother and a sister to play with. They said they wanted Yatrell to have a brother and a sister. Because, when he was a child, somebody said that they got pregnant with Lord Gerald Johnson on purpose. And it was not me. And she said she did it for Yatrell, not for me. Stuff like that. So then it was a time when Lord Gerald Johnson went to foster care because, the people at 2501 20th Street said they didn't want him or they acted like they didn't like him or something like that. So since somebody cared so much about Yatrell having a brother, the person they said they was the mom of Lord Gerald Johnson said that she wanted, Yatrell to have a brother. Something about saying that Lord Gerald Johnson was her bundle of joy. I was like, what about me? I felt like shit. I felt bad. I'm like, if he's your bundle of joy, then what am I? If Yatrell, is worth having another brother, what am I worth? I feel bad the whole time, So, when Lord Gerald went to foster care, it was like, since they like stealing people's children and taking people's babies, and as soon as you have a baby, they would steal your child. Someone cared so much about Yatrell, It's like it's like hands up, don't shoot. It's like I didn't have any say in the matter, I was told that Yatrell is so important that he needs a brother. And since his brother, Lord Gerald Johnson, went to foster care, I was told Yatrell is so important that, he needs his brother out of foster care. So then, Trinity Johnson was born, October 6, 2008. So that Lord Gerald Johnson could get out of foster care for Yatrell. It's crazy, It kind of made me crazy, when people want to know. All of that mental, emotional, and family abuse. Sometimes people try to make me say bad stuff, or maybe I said bad stuff about those people, these people, this or that. However, I want to apologize for any of the bad words or the bad stuff that I might have said, Whether you're this color or that color, whether you're from here, whether you're from there, wherever you're from, whoever you are, But, 18 years of being, treated like nothing and nobody, because it was all about Yatrell having a brother and a sister. And it was always about making sure that I don't even know. Because now that Yatrell is 18 years, of age, old enough to get married, something very special, was claimed about him needing a brother and a sister. I went to jail in the family court case, trying to, help a mom. When a person said they was a mom and they wanted their child, to be a certain way, I went to jail for it, and I didn't kill anybody before or after that, I didn't have sex or finish the job, however you call it, making a baby mama, getting the pleasure of knowing what it feels like, you know, they stuff that other guys brag on. Whether it's in their rap videos or music videos, when it was like, ooh, she got some good, what? Or ooh, she got some good stuff. Or ooh, she got some good, sick stuff, you know. It's crazy because, all the books that I read in religion, it's like, I was never even, privileged, one of those privileged people that, it was like, how did it feel, Brandon? How did it feel, when you got married and you had the honor, of being the first person, to have contact with her hymen, her virginity, all of that, ain't nothing like your first time, right, Brandon? That very special moment. I was like, I guess I wasn't worthy enough, I don't know if a hyena did it or if a family person did or whatever, I always felt bad about it, But, it was like, believing in God, believing in love and stuff like that, for the family and stuff like that, it's crazy because, when I would be around those people, they said they was their cousins, their families, their aunts, their sisters, brothers and stuff like that, all those girls and different people tried to make me feel stuff, It seemed like it was called projection. Like they tried to make me feel like sexual attraction or have sex thoughts or desires or feelings about them, And no matter what they look like, no matter how sexy or cute or fine or good looking or tempting, any of, the girls, the females, the ladies, the women, they were, I would always be like, but what about my wife? What about my children? What about my family? Because thinking about God first, I never did understand, And I was told that, I did a good job, When you said you only wanted one child, or Brandy, that's the way they explained it to me. And according to the birth certificate, and what I've been told, they said he's, supposed to be 18 and old enough to get married and start his own life and go on his own journey. And they don't know if he'll, do the same way that I did or, have the same way. But it's his body and his choice what he does, with his own self, Not for me, of course, because it was never for me, any of those situations the way that after these 18 years of, being told by the family court that, I was the dad and going to all of those court dates and, getting locked up here and there, breaking my leg, going to work and all of the trips and travels from city to city, all of the effort, reasonable efforts, right, that I made, It's like, whether it was at home or in jail or wherever I would be during those times, I would find myself in a room or like, just me, I would be like, some marriage, right? When you really, really think about it, be like, where would she be at, It's like, just telling the truth, And it's crazy because, it was a time on August 9th, 2015. I was like, this is crazy. This is just crazy. What's going on with this family and these people? I need to find out what's going on. So I tried to go out the door. I tried to walk out the door. I don't know where I was going or what I was going to do. I don't think anyone did. But, a person stood in front of the door and said, I got to fight them in order to even leave out of the door. And I went to jail. I told her, I told the person that was there that I didn't want to do it, that I didn't want to fight them, any of that stuff like that, It's crazy because, when I read the books about Islam and stuff like that, there was some people that was talking about the Toots and Larrys or Tudor Larry or something like that, and Jen and D-Jen and stuff like that, It was like, when you went to their house at 2715 Avenue East, some of them people was talking about demonic positioning and saying that they like evil and bad stuff. And it was like, you know, they said that some of them people was demonically possessed with jinn or D-jinn. I think it's spelled like D-J-I-N-N, or some people spell it J-I-N-N, and they don't pronounce the D, you know. Some people even use the letter G, and, you know, pronounce it that way with the gin and stuff like that. They even use like the alcohol, like the clear gin and stuff like that, and vodka and stuff that I don't even drink, you know. I was like, you know, it was like, you know, some people tried to like blame me for stuff that I didn't do, you know. They tried to trigger me, you know, to say stuff about him, her, this, that, different colored people. And they tried to get me to say mean stuff, you know. So I apologize, you know, if anyone ever saw me or heard me saying or doing stuff, you know, if you did not like it, you know. But you know, from the time I went to 2715 Avenue E, I'm not sure, you know, who was who or what was what or what kind of identity politics or games that they played with. The names that they would brag on, they would say that they love people like Lamar and Marvin and Mark or Marcus and Jamal and Pee Wee and Terry and Al and Clifford and Aaron and Rodriguez, and you know, they would say their family was Linda and Glinda, and somebody would always brag on being Jeremy's sister, like they were just so in love with Jeremy or something like that, you know. I just don't really have anything to say about it, you know. And those people, you know, it was like when you look at the birth certificates of those people, those were people that, you know, made girls into single moms. The ages of some of those moms when the children were born, some people say they were underage because some of those girls weren't even 16 years old, you know. And I believe during that time they said 16 years old was the age of consent. So if a dude looked at a 16-year-old girl and was like, you know, they said that, well, at least in that state, during those times, they said 16 years old was the age of consent, you know. But you know, their mom or their dad or their parents and stuff like that, you know. Sometimes they would press charges, sometimes they would not press charges, you know. They did stuff according to what their family, the people that they call their families, told them to do and stuff like that, you know. Since none of the stuff was ever really for me, you know, like, it's just like April 30th, 2004. Like, I didn't have a bachelor party, you know. There was not a bridal shower, you know. There was not a marriage celebration, you know, where, you know, any of those people that call themselves a family ever said that, you know, it's for the marriage. It's for the bride and groom. I don't really understand it, you know. So, you know, 18 years later, you know, after all of this stuff has been done for Yatrell, you know, it's crazy because, you know, I wonder what he has to say about all of this, you know. When someone said he was so worthy of all of those, you know, situations, you know. And, you know, all of the times that I came to visit him and got beat up or locked up or sent to the hospital, you know, there's supposed to be records of it because when I was in jail and when I was in the hospital, you know, since I live in the state of Georgia, you know, and I've been here since 2014, you know, and there's records of that because, you know, going to doctor's appointments at River Edge and being in the mental health court in the years of 2016 and, you know, it's when they signed me up for it. So I started mental health court, you know, in the year 2017, you know, that's when I started, you know, as a mental health court, you know, participator. And I graduated in the year 2019 from mental health court. So I was in mental health court in the year 2017. In the year 2017, I was in mental health court. And in the year of 2018, I was in mental health court. And I graduated from mental health court in the year of 2019. Yeah. And then I had to go to a family violence class at River Edge during those years, you know. You know, I had to spend a lot of money and stuff like that. Just because somebody on August 9th said they asked me to fight them. And, you know, I felt like I was being bullied or forced. And, you know, I got to leave out the room, all right. Straight to jail, you know. I believe it was unfair, you know. So I told the truth about it, you know. I didn't want to get, you know, the person in trouble and stuff like that. So, you know, I didn't want to say that they started a fight with me and stuff like that because I didn't want them to go to jail for stuff like that. So since, you know, the court said it's time served, you know, when I went to those court dates, you know, they like the truth have to come out in the end, you know. Just because I loved somebody, a person, a family, children, you know, stuff like that, and I did not have sex, you know, or make single moms or stuff like that. You know, I was abused, locked up, and, you know, treated like trash, you know, a lot, you know. People would tell me to go to the strip clubs and, you know, people would tell me to go here and go there. And no matter how fine a girl looked, how sexy a girl looked, how beautiful, how gorgeous a person looked, you know. I never had a girlfriend on the side or somebody that I would talk to on the phone or somebody that I would spend the night with or, you know, somebody that I made another child with or got pregnant or tried to have an abortion or a miscarriage or tried to cover it up or any of that stuff like that, you know. And whenever I would participate in any activities, whether it was before or after April 30th, you know, I was just never quite able to finish the job, you know, unless I was under the influence that it was my wife or something like that, you know. Not just a person telling me that they're my wife, but, you know, whether it was a doppelganger or a clone or a twin or somebody that looked very similar, you know. Something must be wrong with my eyes or something, or why would they be saying they my wife if they were not, you know. It's crazy, you know. Because, you know, they would always talk about, you know, the adults' families and all of that love and all of that love, you know. And I would feel feelings and I would feel stuff and, you know, it would be triggering and, you know, sometimes it would feel like love. A lot of times it would feel like lust or some kind of sex feeling, you know. But when those people said that they was, you know, stuff that they would do for Adrian and Rodriguez, you know, running up Hood and Darius and Stacy and Nene and people like that, and, you know, actually having children with them and stuff like that, you know, doing more for them than they would do for me, I'd be like, some kind of love, you know. So just because the person said that they love you or they like you or they say that you cute or sexy or fine or gorgeous or any of that, it really didn't feel like love because how would they have had sex and children with those other guys and those other people if they actually loved me, you know, the way that I love, you know, the same kind of love. The kind of love that all the times I went to the doctor in the hospital, I never came back with a child or with a baby and said, that's your baby, that's your baby. But, you know, I heard that it was girls that when they went to the doctor and came home from the hospital, they told people, that's your baby, and it was not your baby. It was a baby that they had with somebody else, from something that they did with somebody else. I never did that to anyone, you know. I feel real bad, you know. But I still feel real, you know, because since I'm not the one that did any of that stuff, you know, and I'm just a witness of what happened. Maybe that's why sometimes, you know, people say that it's post-traumatic stress disorder and major depression, you know. You know, the kind where I'm not suicidal and not a threat to myself or others because I'm not the one that did any of that stuff. So, you know, there's no reason for me to hate myself since I'm not the problem, you know. And since, you know, being, you know, here, just me, for a long time. People notice that I always pay my rent. I always, get food and stuff like that and use the money that I have for the right reasons. I smoke tobacco, cigars, and stuff like that. No weed, no drugs, no marijuana, no ice, no milk, you know, stuff like that. I don't really use needles and stuff like that and injections. None of that. None of that kind of stuff like that. So, in those situations, it's crazy because it was like, when you think about those families, you'd be like, when it would be children, whether they would be naked or in their panties or, running around playing or getting wet. Sometimes they would have those swimming pools or go to the swimming pool or be playing with the water guns and stuff, summertime and stuff like that. Some people would call it hot fun in the summertime or hot action. I don't know. I never went back to any of those places, for seat stuff. I never went back over there and was like, where the sister at? Where the other girl at? Where she at? Ooh, let me get some of that. Stuff like that. It's crazy, because it was like other guys did, where you think the other children come from? Other people, when they saw them, they didn't care if they had a baby mama. They didn't care if they was married. They didn't care how old the children was. They was like, she too fine, she too sexy, she too all that, man. I gotta get some of that. Maybe they was too fine. Maybe they was too sexy. Maybe they was too all of that. But just because a person looks a certain way, you didn't have to have them. The same way I did not have to have them. No matter how fine, no matter how sexy, no matter how gorgeous, no matter how many projections of how crazy they try to make you feel about them. Because being a family and sticking to my word, when a child, was born August 31st, 2004, and I said I didn't want to have no more children. I was told I did my job by, making sure that child, growed up to be the age of 18 and that I did not molest him. I did not do a boy insemination. And I did not go looking for other girls, and stuff like that. Or other guys. Anyone to have sex with, And now that, according to the birth certificate, I was told that he was 18 and stuff like that. And he's old enough to get married, legally, Some people said I set a good example for him, And it's a shame the way that I was treated and I was abused, all these 18 years. Hearing somebody brag on TJ, hearing somebody brag on Willie, listening to people brag on Casanova, listening to people brag on Clifford, listening to people brag on Rod or Roderick, whatever his name is, listening to people brag on Pete or Mike or Al, or Jamal or Milton, stuff like that, It was like I did my 18 years. I proved that, as a dad, as a husband, as a lover, as a friend, I did not murder anyone, I love the children and the family enough that, out of all of those 18 years, I did not put a gun in their hand. I did not put a knife in their hand. I did not show them how to shoot a gun at a person. I did not show them how to stab a person, stuff like that. I didn't turn them into killers or murderers or pimps or thugs and stuff like that, I'm not in a gang or any of that stuff like that. So, I was told that I was done wrong. But I'm not suicidal and I'm not a threat to myself or others. The crazy part about it is being questions now. Because it was like, is Yatrell's mom the same person as Lord Gerald's mom? Is Lord Gerald's mom the same person as Trinity's mom? Is Yatrell's mom my wife? Is Lord Gerald's mom my wife? Is Trinity's mom my wife? Who is my wife and where is my wife? She's not supposed to be my mother. She's not supposed to be my family member. She's not supposed to be TJ's girlfriend or Al's girlfriend or Clifford's girlfriend or Stacy's sister or Jeremy's sister, or she's not supposed to be gone to check on Candace and stuff like that, Because if she's supposed to be my wife, she's supposed to be being my wife, you know, stuff like that, you know. This is not Donald or Daniel or Donald or Danny. I was told I was done wrong, you know. But I'm not suicidal and I'm not a threat to myself or others. I love you all, believe me, I do. So, you know, since I went through all of that, you know, I heard that there was a lot of people that said none of the other girls or guys or husbands or wives or baby mamas or baby, they don't have any excuse. Because when you've been treated as bad as I've been treated and been around all of those different people, no matter how sexy they was, I did not make children and stuff like that with other people. And I would always say, what about my wife? What about my children? What about